Hello students, let's discuss about some of the questions given in the NCERT that is very important for the board examination as well as the upcoming competitions also. We will today discuss in the lecture the different questions in the form of in-text given and some questions from the exercise. So I will choose some of the questions from the in-text and some of the questions from the exercise and will try to deduce the problems and concept regarding these questions given in the NCERT books. The first type of question that is actually given in the NCERT, example number 9.7, you can see that this question actually belongs to the magnetic properties, the magnetic moment of the complexes. Students, the magnetic moment is Spinelli formula we can use to deduce the magnetic moment of the any complex ion. Okay, on the basis of that there may be some possibility. So before that you should learn that the Spinelli formula for the calculation of magnetic moment is mu equal to under root n plus 2, where n is the number of unpaired electron in the complex ion. Number of unpaired electron. Suppose we are going to calculate the magnetic moment of the any ion in the complex. Suppose it's scandium plus 3. You should first actually calculate or find out the number of unpaired electron in the given cation or given metal in the complex. For scandium plus 3, there is no any electron present. This is condition of B0. Therefore, mu also equal to the 0. Mu also equal to the 0. For any complex formation, you first calculate the condition of the number of unpaired electron, and on the basis of that, you then can find out the magnetic moment of the same complex. For example, if I will take the same question from the example number 9.7 given in the NCERT, there is a complex that is given here. The complex is this. If you try to calculate the magnetic moment in this condition, you should learn that this given ligand is forming inner complex or outer complex. Because without knowing the complex formation possibility, you cannot get the number of unpaired electron. As you already know, in the condition of inner complex formation, there will be a pairing of electron that will reduce the number of unpaired electron in the complex. In the condition of outer complex formation, there will be remain unpaired electron in the d subcell, and the number of unpaired electron means value of n will be greater. Here, the halides actually forms outer complex formation. Because of the weak field ligand of these halides means bromides, this complex must be outer complex formation, and if the complex is outer complex formation, we should first learn what will be the number of unpaired electron in a manganese ion. Let first discuss the oxidation state of the manganese here. Oxidation state you can calculate by Mn, that will be X plus the oxidation state of bromide is -1 into 4 equal to -2. The charge of the complex will be equal to the minus, then the X can be +2. Then the oxidation state of manganese is +2. Now you will justify the electronic configuration of manganese, which is in a ground state. The electronic configuration of manganese is S2D5. S2D5 actually 4s2 and 3d5. So manganese release its 2 electrons. So the configuration will become electronic configuration become 3d5 and 4s0. As we know, the complex is the outer complex formation and electron will remain unpaired in the d subshell. Then in that condition, there will be all electron will be unpaired. This is called the n equal to 5. The n equal to 5, and now you can put this value of n in this formula to get the value of mu. Therefore, mu equal to under root 5 plus 2. This will give you a 7 5 is 35. Then mu equal to under root 35. We are knowing that the 36, the nearest to the 35 is the perfect square of the 6. So this 35 must be a value of less than 6. And the actual value is the 5.92. 5.92 on calculation you can get the value of 5.92, and the unit of magnetic moment spin only formula is Bohr magneton. So you should write Bm. The Bohr magneton, the magnetic moment of the manganese in this complex. The same question you can deduce or explain on the basis of crystal field theory as well. In crystal field theory, we are knowing that the 3d5, the splitting of the orbital will take place, and that will be converted into the these two set, and we are knowing in the condition of weak field again, the delta value will be smaller than the p value. Delta value is smaller than the value of p, and that's why if the delta value is smaller than p, then electron must be entered in the T2G set, then will enter in the EG set. Then will enter in the EG set, but now the condition is, you can see the Mn, this part is complex, this is a tetrahedral condition, then splitting will be reversed, because this splitting takes place for octahedral complexes and in square complexes. But this complex is tetrahedral, so the splitting will be like this. So electron first enter in these two E set, then will enter in the three different sets. You can explain on any question on the basis of CFT as well as on the valence bond theory or magnetic property. Now you can get that the value of n will remain 5. That will give you a same Bohr magneton value. The same question you can discuss on the basis of the next any ligand that can be strong field. For example, in the same complex, if ligands are replaced by cyanide, now cyanide is a strong field ligand. That's why the condition, the number of electron of unpaired, that will be changed actually, because in the condition of cyanide, now the oxidation state will remain same, and here will be Mn plus 2. So electronic configuration is 3d5 and 4s0 as well as previous complex, okay? But now this is cyanide is a strong field ligand that will get paired the electrons in the d subshell because of now delta value is greater than the pairing value, so electron will get paired in the d subshell during splitting. So now these 5 electrons, look at the possibility. These 5 electrons will enter like this: 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And electronic configuration will be like T2G5 and EG0. You can see because of strong field ligand, these 5 electrons get paired will get paired in the lower energy state and still one electron remain unpaired because of the electrons number are odd. The number of electrons are odd. That's why the n value will remain unpaired here. The value of n will become 1. And on the basis of formula, when you will get the value, when you will put the value of 1, it will be 1 plus 2, 3, and 3 1 ja 1, 3 1 ja 3, 3 1 ja 3, so under root 3. Now, the 4, the nearest value of the 3 is a perfect square of 2. So, this value under root 3 must be a smaller than 4, smaller than 2, that can be a. On calculation, the value will remain either 1.85, 1.9 approximately value. 1.85 to 1.92. Actually, if the number of electron will be like 3 or generally 8, generally we are getting the value of the mu in the to the nearest perfect square root actually. Like 2 is the square root of 4, 3 is square root of 9, the 4 is the square root of 16. So we are generally getting the value the nearest to the 2, nearest to the 3, nearest to the 4, 5 and so on. The same way as we get to the value 5.92, the perfect square of the 36, and that's the value of less than smaller than the 6 actually. So these are the conditions how can we actually deduce why the Bohr magneton value, the magnetic moment value is 5.9 or 5.92. What will be the geometry? We can predict. If the mu value is greater, it must be indicating the number of unpaired electrons are larger, and that actually reveals that the complex is the outer complex, because in the case of outer complex only, the number of electrons will be larger in the d subshell. So the question is, the spin only magnetic moment of this complex MnBr 4 minus 2 is 5.9 bm. Predict the geometry. The geometry must be tetrahedral, because in the case of tetrahedral, generally outer complex formation is there, and due to which the number of unpaired electrons are larger, and that will get a value of this 5.9 bm, a large value of the mu value. Okay. Now we can discuss some more questions related to the same theory, crystal field theory, and I will take the question from the in-text 9.5, 9.6, 9.7, 9.8, 9.9 and 9.10. We will discuss all these questions together. Let's discuss. In-text number 9.5. We have two complex explain on the basis of valency bond theory that NiCN4 minus 2 ion with a square planar is diamagnetic, and NiCl4 is a tetrahedral and paramagnetic. So this one is square planar. Square planar means DSP2 configuration, and this is a tetrahedral sp3 configuration. We have to be discussed why this complex is a square planar diamagnetic and this complex is tetrahedral paramagnetic. Some of the part of the answer you can deduce from the question only. But if it is a paramagnetic, it must be having some unpaired electron. If it is diamagnetic, it must be having a complete paired electron. Okay, we are getting now. The electron, the hybridization of the square planar is DsP2, indicating the inner complex formation. Tetrahedral sp3 indicating the outer complex formation. Means we have some idea about the complex formation tendency and number of unpaired electrons that could be in a complex. On the basis of that only, we can go through the next part of the question and answer. So first we will find out the oxidation state of nickel, and you are, I think you are getting value. The same example I explained in the valency bond theory during my lectures. Okay, so you can get that value. The oxidation state of nickel is, you can calculate the cyanide carry -1 charge, so 4 cyanide -4, that will equal to the -2, will give you a +2 value of nickel. The same oxidation state will be here also. Now nickel, the +2 condition indicating the electronic configuration of nickel will be actually 3d8 4s2, but nickel +2 will release 2 electrons from the outermost shell, that is 4s. Now we have 3d8 4s0. So these 8 electrons, will get paired because of square planar geometry, because of dsp2 hybridization, and we will get all electrons are paired in the d subshell. Because of the paired electron, this molecule, this complex must be a diamagnetic. Okay, so you will explain in your answer sheet that this complex is a diamagnetic because all electrons are paired because of the inner complex formation, because their hybridization is dsp2. And same, there will be opposite condition because of the same oxidation state. The electronic configuration of the ion, nickel +2 ion, is the same as given here, but the electron will remain some unpaired because of the outer complex formation condition. Next question. Other things you can get from the lectures, previous lectures. NiCl4-2 is paramagnetic, while NiCO4 is diamagnetic, though both are tetrahedral. Same question I explained during my valency bond theory lectures. You are not getting in the condition of here. In this complex, the nickel having +2 oxidation state indicating 3d8 and 4s0 electronic configuration during complex formation. But here nickel having 0 oxidation state indicating 3d8 and 4s2 electronic configuration during complex formation. That is the major difference. Of the complex formation during complex formation. Because of 3d8 and 4s0, this ligand is a weak field ligand and will form outer complex formation. So no participation of the inner d subshell, and electron will remain unpaired. That will give a paramagnetic complex in the condition. But here the electronic configuration is 3d8 and 4s2. During excitation state, the 4s2, the 2 electrons from the 4s will enter in 3d because of the pairing of electron takes place, and all 5 orbitals involved in the pairing of electrons, that will not give any orbital empty to participate during hybridization. That's why the other orbitals from s and 3 from p can only participate during complex formation. That's why the complex remain diamagnetic, but sp3 hybridization, and there will be tetrahedral complex. So both will be tetrahedral, both will be sp3, but due to the oxidation state is 0, the d orbital will contain all 10 electrons are completely filled orbitals, and no electron will remain unpaired. That will not give you a paramagnetic behavior of the complex formation. This is all about the question and answer. You can deduce the answer from this explanation. 9.7. The one complex is here, FeS2O6. +3 Fe(Cl)6 -3. So question is, the first complex is paramagnetic, sorry, is strongly paramagnetic, whereas the next one is a weakly paramagnetic. Strongly paramagnetic means more number of unpaired electrons are available. Weakly paramagnetic means least number of unpaired electrons are available. Okay, so unpaired electron will be available, but more in the case of first and least in the case of second. That's why strongly paramagnetic, weakly paramagnetic. Now let's discuss about the oxidation state first. In the first condition, the complex IUPAC name will be hexa-aqua iron third iron. In the second case, hexacyanide third iron. You can see in the both the condition, the iron will carry a +3 oxidation state. +3 state. Oxidation states are common, same. By the way, okay. What is the neutral electronic configuration of iron? That is 3d6 and 4s2. Remember now, 3d6 and 4s2. The three electrons can be removed from the iron now. What will be the configuration now? The configuration will be 3d5 4s0. 3d5 4s0. Now you should explain that in the condition of water, which will form outer complex formation because of weak field ligand, the electronic configuration of this molecule will be like this: T2G3 Eg2. According to crystal field theory, the splitting of the orbital takes place, and because of weak field ligand, the delta value will be smaller than the value of P, and electrons will remain unpaired in the T2G and Eg set, and 5 electrons will remain unpaired. So the value of N will be 5. The number of unpaired electrons will be remain 5. But in the case of latter, the next condition, this is a strong field ligand having ability to that pair the electron in the T2G set first, then electron will enter in the Eg set, because the delta will be larger than the pairing energy. So the electronic configuration will be T2G5 and Eg0. But T2G5, the one electron will remain unpaired and N value will be 1. The value of N means number of unpaired electron will be remain 1, indicating this will be a paramagnetic but weakly paramagnetic. This will be paramagnetic but strongly paramagnetic. Even you can calculate the magnetic momentum value also, that will easily compare the magnetic property of the both the complex. According to the 5, the value of mu will be we are getting the 5.92 exactly, I think 5.92, and for 1 we will get about 1.92 or 1.85 value exactly. So you can see that the value of mu will be at about 1.92 about, and this will be 5.92, indicating a large difference of magnetic moment of both the complexes. This is due to the only presence of a strong field ligand and weak field ligand in the complex formation. Even the oxidation states are same, electronic configuration are same, but that will differ the hybridization. It will be sp3d2 octahedral, it will be d2sp3 octahedral. So all details you can explain on the basis of crystal field theory. All details. The next question about explain CONS36 is an inner orbital complex and INS36 is an outer orbital complex. Okay, we have both the strong ligand, but why one is inner, why other is the outer? This will again depend upon the electronic configuration, students. The complex are Okay, there is given the first compound, the first complex is inner orbital, the second one is the outer orbital. Outer orbital indicating there is no any vacant orbital in the inner d orbitals, indicating whenever outer orbital formation is there, whenever outer complex formation is there, always indicating there is no empty place in the inner 3d orbitals. Look at the possibility. Nickel, ammonia is a neutral ligand. Here, ammonia is also a neutral ligand. But both the condition, what is the oxidation state? First, write that. Cobalt, oxidation state plus 3. What is the electronic configuration? The electronic configuration will be 3d6. 4s0. 3d6, 4s0 students. Here, nickel plus 2. What is the condition of electronic configuration? That is 3d8 4s2 4s0. Write the electronic configuration in the T2G and EG set according to the crystal field theory. Splitting. Write it. 3d6. What is the condition? 3d6. The possibility is T2G 6 and EG 0. The ligand is strong field ligand. A strong field ligand that will pair the electrons in the T2G first, and two orbitals of EG remain empty, available for the further hybridization. That's why the hybridization of this complex will be D2sp3, because inner 2d orbitals of EG orbitals are available to take part in the hybridization. You can just write that there is a 2 orbital of the EG set is available to take part in the hybridization. That's why this complex is an inner complex formation. Inner complex. What about that? The configuration is 3d8. 3d8. Hello, 3d8. Let electron field in the T2G and EG set. What we will get? What we will get? Here, the electron will be get paired in the T2G first, and all 3 orbitals will be paired and filled first. So that will give T2G6. 2 electrons remain there. That will give you a. So oxidation state is 3d8, giving you a T2G6 and Eg2. Students, Eg2. No orbital is empty. No orbitals are available for the taking part in the hybridization. That's why, in the case of nickel, all octahedral complexes are outer complex, because never orbital will be empty or available to take part in the hybridization process. So nickel, the complex of nickel, even the ligands are same, oxidation state is 3d8, giving you a T2G6 and Eg2 electronic configuration on the basis of crystal field theory will not give you a permission of the inner complex formation, and that is the reason this complex is the outer complex and this one is the inner complex. What are the basic reasons? Are you getting that? What is the basic reason? So these are some concepts that you have to be deal with during the calculation, during the problem solving of the question from the NCERT or any other places. Next question is, predict the number of unpaired electrons in the square planar PtCN4-2. Platinum. Platinum is the element coming under the category of nickel, palladium and platinum. I think that is the condition now. So the last configuration of platinum also will be D8 and S2. D8 and S2. The last configuration will be D8 and S2. Platinum will carry here a +2 charge. You can go through your question. I am explaining here. The platinum will carry a +2 charge in the PtCN4-2. So there will be Pt +2. Okay. So configuration will be D8S0 square planar. D8 is square planar, students. It's square planar. What's the meaning of this? Square planar meaning is the all 8 electrons will get paired because the cyanide is a strong field ligand that will take one orbital from the inner d orbital, that will take part in the square planar geometry formation, and the hybridization will be dsp2. So here no electron will remain unpaired. So the question is, predict the number of unpaired electron. Actually there is no unpaired electron, as you have to be right there. Next question is, hexa aqua manganese second contains 5 unpaired, while the hexa cyano ion contains only 1 unpaired. The same question as explained here in the case of iron. Students, as in the case of iron, the same question will be here also. If there will be a large number of unpaired electrons indicating outer complex formation, indicating weak ligand, so in the first condition hexa aqua means water is a weak field ligand that will not be able to pair the electron in the d orbitals, and no orbital from the inner orbitals take part in the hybridization. So outer complex formation and all electron will remain unpaired, giving you a 5 unpaired. In the case of next complex hexacyano, which is strong field ligand, and that will produce that inner complex formation, and will give you only a 1 electron unpaired because of the configuration is d5. In the case of manganese, the configuration is d5. Odd number of electron always giving you at least 1 electron as unpaired on a condition of pairing. So that is the condition how you can deal with all these questions from the NCERT. The same concept you can help out, you can take the help from the same concept, that will give you an idea how to deal with the other question from the exercise. And if there is any problem, you can send a comment. You can send a comment, we can discuss on that questions also particularly. Otherwise, the next lectures will be depend upon the next chapter. Okay? Wait for that. Thank you.